This program is proudly brought to you by PNG Motors, Gazelle International Hotel, and Telecom Limited.
Good evening, PNG. Welcome back to another episode of Sports Scene. I am your host, Jaylee Sapies, and I'm joined by Denzel Apelis. Dan, big weekend, you were everywhere.
Oh, yeah, something like that. You know, so much is happening now in all the codes this year in every level. So, yeah, as we move into mid-year this year, yeah.
All right, now let's get straight into it. On tonight's show, we take a look at Kumu Mineral Holdings Limited's massive 15 million Kina sponsorship towards the PNG RFL competition. We get an update on POM men's softball and look into preparations for the Mini Pacific Games. And we speak with Cricket PNG Barramundi's coach Tatenda Taibu and captain Asad Vala. Okay, let's take a look at our weekend recaps.
Yes, now in our local sporting turn of events, the Isuzu Women's T20 Smash, Telecom Mudmen were crowned champions after defeating the defending champions New Guinea Assurance Casuaries by 5 full wickets and scoring 51 runs in 12 overs, while the New Guinea Assurance Casuaries scored 49 runs from 10 wicket falls in 16.5 overs. Marquee player Rian O'Donnell stood out, scoring 32 runs, which secured the title for the Telecom Mudmen. Prior to the final, it was Pay Better Black Bass who secured the third place, beating Mariners by 5 runs. The Mariners gave the Black Bass a good challenge, but it wasn't enough as marquee player Ellie Johnson scored a massive 61 runs, securing the win for the Pay Better side. Cricket PNG Chairman Michael Harrison acknowledged Boracay Motors and the team's sponsors for the support, along with players and staff who took part in that tournament. Moving on, POM AFL completed their 4th round. Still reigning undefeated, the West Eagles in the A-grade division defeated Bomana Cats with a massive margin of 97 points to 7 on Saturday. And Sunday matches were a bit demoralizing for the players, as a few players were ruled out of the matches following the suspension of the Gordons Kokofa Football Club. In POM men's softball, Gazelle continued their winning streak, sitting comfortably in the first place on the ladder in the A-grade division as the Aces lead the B-grade division. More on POM men's softball later on in the show, but that's all we have for our recaps. Now let's head straight into our weekend scorelines, starting off with the NRL. The Panthers defeated the Rabbitohs 42 points to 12, and on Friday, Raiders defeated the Sea Eagles 26 points to 24. Roosters defeated the Broncos 40 points to 18, a major upset there. And on Saturday, Bulldogs defeated West Tigers 22 points to 14. Storms 22, defeating the Titans 20 points. Dolphins 28 and the Cowboys 26. On Sunday, Knights defeated the Warriors 14 points to 8, and Sharks came out on top 20 points against the Dragons, who were on 10 points. Host Plus Cup on Saturday, the Clydesdale defeated the Dolphins and the Tigers defeated the Cutters. Bears defeated Falcons and Magpies defeated the Capras. Their Sunday matches, the WM Seagulls, Pride, and of course PNG Hunters with a big score against the Blackhawks. They all came out on top. PNG Hunters scored 52 points against the Blackhawks. A big comeback for our boys. And on Super Rugby Pacific Round 11, we have the Hurricanes, who defeated the Warriors 41 points to 12. Blues 38 defeating the Rebels 11 points. And on Saturday, Highlanders defeated the Moana Pacifica 28 points to 17. And we have Reds, Chiefs and Brumbies, who all came out on top, defeating Crusaders, Force and Fijian Drua. And that concludes our weekend's recaps and scorelines. Stay with us. Sports Scene will be right back after the break, and we'll continue on heading straight into the show. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Last week, Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League announced a 15 million Kina sponsorship agreement with Kumu Mineral Holdings Limited over the next 5 years. KMHL sponsorship of 3 million Kina per year will support the National Rugby League competition's male and female competition, which is set to kick off this July. KMHL is happy to partner with PNG's national sport through a competition that supports and empowers both men and women. Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League announced last week a 5-year sponsorship agreement with Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited worth 15 million kina.
The Rugby League being the national sport made it possible for us to get in touch with Kumul Minerals and the chairman and the MD and the board for believing in what we do at the PNG RFL and coming on board and supporting. It's a feel-good story for us as a sport and everyone that loves and plays the sport across the country. It helps us to get better and do the game better.
PNG RFL CEO Stanley Hondina says that their main concern is all about making better people, and with the help of KMHL, they are able to achieve that.
The first thing I want to say is Kumul Minerals is very happy to be a partner in this journey that the CEO has outlined. We are excited because I guess that journey that the CEO has mentioned can probably have a big impact in terms of the outcomes that he is talking about.
KMHL CEO Dr. Ila Temu said they are happy to partner with PNG's national sport and are excited for the opportunities that will come about through this sponsorship. The National Rugby League competition is the competition that runs the PNG NRL comp, and this year, with the help of KMHL, will run a women's comp starting this July. Yeah, so good to see local companies getting involved with rugby league.
Especially, and that's the sport that we love, rugby league. So it's good to see we have that financial backup.
Yeah, definitely.
But moving on, let's take a quick update on the POM men's softball season and their preparations for the coming Mini Pacific Games in Palau, where our women's team will have the opportunity to defend their gold title after a decade. Let's check it out.
The Port Moresby men's softball season 2024 completed its 4th round last weekend, which followed a successful Moneyball tournament that took place over the Easter weekend.
We actually paid out about 15,000 kina out to the clubs, and the money was to be used given to the clubs was to be for the clubs to use it for team registrations and affiliations and equipment if the club has won more. So I think United Brothers were the ones that came out as winners, followed by Bears, and whichever team that plays in the finals gets more money out of it.
During the Moneyball Fever, representatives from respective softball associations across the country met with the PNG Olympic Committee to elect interim executives to revive the PNG Baseball and Softball Confederation. The interim in place would allow for a national team selection for international tournaments and competitions.
We started off late, but with the double headers, it kind of it brought the competition back again to how we anticipated it to be. Yeah, so Game 4, we'll see the results come out this weekend.
The 2015 South Pacific Games, which was held here in Papua New Guinea, saw the last of the PNG national women's softball team as they won gold in a best out of 3 match against American Samoa. With the revival of the PNG Baseball and Softball Confederation, and after 10 years, PNG is called upon to defend their gold title during the Mini Pacific Games in Palau next year.
The interim executives are working together to bring in compliance back to the federation, as well as ensuring that we have a group of women athletes participating for the mini games in next year, June. And with that, one of the compliance from the PNGOC was to have a championship, so that we have a selection criteria process to select the women athletes from there, the softballers, to participate. From the interim executives, we're looking at having the championships in September.
A national team shall be selected to take part in the Mini Pacific Games straight after the national championships.
This championships is one that's coming after COVID, so I'm hoping that we're going to get more associations participating in these championships with a good, variety of softballers where we can select a team for the mini games. Yeah.
As the interim executives continue to liaise with the softball associations across the country, all eyes are on the Mini Pacific Games in Palau while we anticipate the national championships coming September.
Thank you for joining me. Now tell me about the selection process for the PNG Barramundis team who are traveling to the T20 World Cup.
Yeah, so the selection process was a little bit different to what has been done before. So we are changing the way we select to performance-based. So it was just only a snippet of that. So what we did this time around was we selected a final, a final 18 to 16. And then we had tours, so we went to India, Oman, Hong Kong, and Malaysia. So we made it aware to all the players that selection is just going to be based on how you perform. So we made sure that we gave everyone a chance. So of our 14 matches, we made sure that everyone got at least 7 matches. And then at the end of the tournament, of those tournaments, we then compiled the statistics, and then we said, look, these are the statistics, this is how many runs you scored, this is how many wickets you took. So as you can see, this was the best 15. So we did it that way. It's not going to be like that all the time. This was just the start, because we are going to change the way selection is done, because it's going to be based on how you perform out there, not on the basis of the contract, but on the basis of how you perform in the local competition. So that's how we're going to be doing it. But to answer your question, that's how we did it. We used the tours to Oman, India, Hong Kong, and Malaysia.
Okay, so speaking of performances, are there any standout players for you on that team, especially during the Isuzu T20 Smash?
So we didn't use Isuzu as a basis of selection. Isuzu was just another separate tournament. I couldn't use that because I did not know how the tournament was done before. And there was all other things that we were really trying out, things like bringing new players in, and we didn't know how it would pan out. So now that we have an idea, it's something that we can look at. However, there were some performances, if we are looking at it separately, away from the World Cup. There were some performances from young players. I'm sure Assad also had some young players in his side that performed really well. Yes, we would have loved a bit more outstanding performances from our leading players. But then to answer your question on the barras, strictly on the barras on the tour, there was some outstanding batting performances and bowling performances as well. I think at the top of the list was Hiri. I think he ended up with 326 runs, and then followed by CJ, who had 297 runs, and then Assad was third with, if my memory serves me right, he was around 290. Then Assad, I think, was leading on the wickets with 15 wickets.
How has the team prepared for this T20 World Cup?
The preparations started a long time ago. Like Titi said, it all started when we went to India,
Yes.
Oman, Malaysia, and Hong Kong. That's where all the preparation started and took place from there. So when we came back, it was all training, and what we did well and what we didn't do well. It was just about trying to correct all those stuff that we did well and we didn't do well. So the preparation has been going really well under the guidance of Titi, who has come and stayed with us for the last couple of months, and to work under him has been really good for us. And I'm really happy, to be playing under him, because he's done a really good job for us. Because last time when we went on tour, when we went to the World Cup, we didn't have a coach with us. So the only time we met the coach was when we arrived at Oman to play the World Cup. So it's a bit different for us now with having Titi with us all the way through with the preparation and going to the World Cup.
Assad, there are a few new players on the team. How have they been bonding with the older players?
Because they'll be making their debut in West Indies. They've been playing a lot of cricket with us over the years. They've played. John Carrico has been our leading spinner. He's been bowling really well. Ale has played a lot of cricket. Sema, who's been one of our top bowlers over the years as well. So they've got a lot of experience, but this will be their World Cup debut, but I have confidence in them that they'll get the job done if I'm getting to the 11.
Any acknowledgements from the both of you?
I've been lucky ever since I've arrived here in Papua New Guinea to understand that cricket in Papua New Guinea is a family rather than a team, and that comes all the way from the top, to the bottom. So, Mick Harrison as the chairman has been really helping with a lot of things and to get the organization going. Obviously, in the admin office being led by Richard, and the team has been amazing. We've got all the administrators, Lakani, we've got Hena, we've got Solomon. I'll end up mentioning everyone, Q, Hena. So I'll end up mentioning everyone, but everyone has been great. The groundsmen, every time we've asked for the facilities to be prepared, they've done that. It's easy to get around because everyone works as a family.
To add on what Titi said, I just want to acknowledge the sponsorship of our Kumul Petroleum and all the associated sponsors that support the PNG Baramanis and Cricket PNG.
Mr. Taibu and Mr. Vala, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best with the T20 World Cup. All right, don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll be back to wrap things up. Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. All right, let's check out what's happening this weekend.
Yes, now the weekend has already started, especially with NRL. Dolphins versus Seagulls, that's happening right now. Tomorrow matches, Panthers versus the Bulldogs, Eels versus Broncos. Friday matches seem to be like really good matches to watch. And Saturday we have West Tigers versus the Knights, Dragons versus Rabbitohs, and Storms versus the Sharks, which close off Saturday matches. Sunday we witness Roosters versus the Warriors, and Titans face Cowboys, sealing off round 10 of NRL. We have Raiders on bye. Host Plus Cup, round 9 we have Seagulls versus Blackhawks, WM Seagulls versus Jets, Hunters versus Pride, Cutters versus Bears, Dolphins versus Capras, and Magpies versus Clydesdale. And on Sunday, single match only, Devils versus the Tigers. Super Rugby Pacific round 11, Moana Pacifica versus Chiefs, Reds versus Rebels. And on Saturday, Blues versus the Hurricanes, Highlanders face the Crusaders, and Waratahs will face the Brumbies. And that is what's happening for our sport that we love, rugby league. Yes, now moving on to more of our local sports that's happening with the PNG NRL. They're going into their round 5. POM AFL, they're also going into their round 5. And the POM men's softball also going into their round 5. And we have the CRU. Yes, CRU, they're going into their round 3. But that concludes our weekend previews. Miss Jaylee, yeah.
All right, exciting week ahead. Okay, before we go, if you have a sports-related story you'd like us to cover, please contact us on 312-9229, or you can Facebook us, email us, or drop by our office at Level 2 Garden City here in Port Moresby. All right, that's it for tonight's show. We hope you enjoyed our company because we certainly enjoyed yours. And guys, don't forget Mother's Day coming up this weekend.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and upcoming mothers. Yeah.
All right, do catch us same time, same place next week, right here on your number 1 to watch. Good night from Sports Scene.
This program was proudly brought to you by PNG Motors, Gazelle International Hotel, and Telecom Limited.